Well, it's been a couple weeks since I've done a video on the Imperials, and now that I have all three of them together in one place finally, I wanted to go ahead and do a video comparing the 81 and 82 Imperials. Here we have three examples. We have an 81, an 82 Sinatra edition, and an 82 plain, I guess, edition. Though not quite plain, and you'll see why in just a minute. This is here, and we're going to also look at the fuel injection system and some of the differences between that and the carbureted system as well in this video. But this is an 81 Imperial. So this is the first year that they made them. And as you can see, there's not much of there's not visual differences, with the exception of when you open the headlights. This one has a chrome bottom piece, and those have what looks to be like a stainless metal piece. This one here is an 81, and it's a carbureted version. And here we have the red center caps. They eventually went to clear ones in late 82, from what I can tell, which I'm not a big fan of. I like these a lot better. And this was one of the options. You could either have these wheels, or you could have the hubcaps, which is over on the far one over there. And every Imperial came with the Cartier crystals on the pillar lights. And here we have new car prep. How interesting. This one has a cloth interior, as you'll see, and this is a beige cloth interior. And the Imperials, the first year, had this cushion, this additional cushion here, which, as you'll see in the later ones, it didn't, though they still had the back cushion. And that went in for the cloth as well as the leather interiors. The other two have, well, I should say what's left of a leather interior. This one here, of course, has the original carpeting and so on. This one has an 8-track player in it. And I actually added the Sinatra console and had it covered with brown carpet for it to match. I rescued that from a junked one. Though, interestingly enough, it didn't come with the Frank Sinatra signature on the bottom. All the Imperials, for the most part, when you get in, the dash lights up. And, of course, you have park and reverse and neutral, drive, second and first. Of course, we've gone through that on a video before, a lot of the functionality. But this is what an 81 looks like. Some areas of note on here are, of course, to be very careful when removing any of the plastic pieces, because they love to break. And all of them have this issue with the visor, where the visor kind of flips around. So I'm actually thinking of putting something up here to hold this up. Sorry. The view will be very much the same from all three. But like I said, in this 81, they had this loose pillow thing, which I'm not too much of a fan of because I'm 6'3", and it pushes me higher in the seat. And as we'll see on all the Imperials I have, except for one, and you have to excuse the paint on my hand. I was painting earlier, but all of them get this issue with the steering wheel, where they crack and they wear out, unless the car's been garaged. So that's kind of an issue on these. Let's take a look under the hood. There we go. And underneath the hood, let me go around the back here too. The back's the same, of course, for 81 to 83. The body didn't change at all. Though there's some minor things. If you go to the Imperial page, this still has the electronic fuel injection logo on it. Though when they did the carburetor conversion, they should have removed that as part of it, but they didn't. And if we look underneath the hood, let me put this down. This is a factory carbureted conversion. This is what it looks like. This is not lean burn. I see so many people say, oh, it's lean burn. Lean burn was a system in the 70s that they stopped making. And this is a later version. Though still on the same principle, still has the same kind of computer, but they didn't call it lean burn at that point. They had to replace the intake manifold and a whole bunch of other stuff to replace the fuel injection systems. Part of some of the stuff that was replaced is over here they had a bunch of relays, as we'll see on the other ones. Over here would have been the automatic shutdown module and another relay, and then there was some ballast along the firewall. But with the carbureted version, they didn't have to bother with that. So this is what a carbureted version looks like. And the air cleaner's a lot smaller. It's okay. Though we'll get into it in a minute with the fuel injection. I actually prefer the fuel injection. And this is, of course, the emission sticker for 81. And so let's go ahead and walk over to the Sinatra edition. This one is an 82, to be exact, Sinatra edition Imperial. I rescued this one for free and put, I don't know how much into it, I don't want to know, to get it running really well on the original fuel injection. This also has the wheels that were optional, one of the options. And I'll be putting back the cardiac crystals, which I have some after it's painted. And I also have the FS badges too. This one actually I just got it smogged and it passed. So for the first time in 24 years, it has a current registration. We have one on the way for this one too, but we'll get to that one in a minute. So this is an 82 Sinatra, and they made the Sinatras only 81 and 82. And it came with this blue leather interior. You can see the leather there. The back seat's actually not in bad shape. It's mostly the front seat that got all the punishment. So I have a towel down for the moment, but eventually it'll be recovered in leather and we'll get it all fixed up. Let me get in the car now. This Sinatra edition actually has the umbrella holder, and I got an umbrella for it. And that's actually for the antenna. I have to fix that. Still the same. Of course, we have this Sinatra console here. And they came in blue. There's the steering wheel again. And same thing with this one. Of course, this one is fuel injected. As we'll see, I'll go ahead and turn it on. So this is the fuel injected version. And there, of course, is the dash. Let me straighten up the wheel. And of course, you have all the functionality. Right now it says range is 0 because I haven't been driving it. And no MPG right now. But all this stuff still works. We even actually got the original air conditioning compressor working with 134. And it blows nice and cold. And this cassette player came out of another one. Though in 82 they only offered the digital one for the Sinatra. But this one has a lot less trouble with it. I have like 15 of those digital ones, so I'm going to actually figure out which ones work. And maybe put one in here. But I have to get new speakers first and a headliner and get the seats recovered. So it's kind of on the back burner, but the radio and the antenna still work. And all of the Imperials came with an automatic antenna. And this one, of course, came with the blue carpeting. And of course the crystal in the steering wheel. And Mark Cross leather interior. Okay, so let's go over to my 82, my regular 82. And that is, of course, a Mark Cross umbrella. There's some more view of the back seat. And the fact I need a headliner. The headliners in these seem to go bad. Okay, so that is the inside of my 82 Sinatra. Now, let's go over to this other 82. Now, people are wondering, boy, you had two of these. Why did you pick this one up? Well, the story on this one is, let me move out of the way here. The story on this one is the original owner had it, and he lived about 40 minutes from me. And this was back about almost a year ago. And his garage collapsed around the car. And so he had to get the car out because he wanted to get his garage rebuilt. And he was a union painter, and he bought this car brand new back east. And he drove it out here within like 6 months from buying it. So it doesn't have any rust outside of the normal California rust. But similar to, of course, the Sinatra, of course, sat for 23 years. This one sat for 27 years, or 28 years. And I got lucky, found these tires online, and basically on this one, kind of like with the Sinatra, it's all the stuff you have to do to a car after it sits. Fluids and hoses and belts and things like that, tires. This is the original paint, absolutely 1,000%. The other white one has been repainted at one point. The blue one will be repainted, and this one here is the original paint. And so my goal is soon we'll be getting it detailed. They're going to do some paint correction on it, get some of this rust out of here, all that, buff it out. And then my goal is the only part I want to repaint is this front clip right here where all the paint came off. And this part of the nose of the car was sticking out of his garage at the other side because it was more like a carport. And so that's why this part is all kind of worn out like that. But thankfully no rodents got into it because he had dogs. And so it was in pretty good shape. This one has a blue pinstripe with the white. And you'll see why that is in a minute. Really cool. I love this color combo. Why I bought it. Now, the front seats have to be recovered, but the back seat's still in perfect condition. The door pan, what's great about this is it's two-tone. So you have the blue and then you have the white. The seats are white and the door panels are white, which is pretty cool. And I actually just cleaned this one off, and it looks like new. Haven't touched much with this one. We'll go ahead and get inside in just a second. As you can see though, the steering wheel on this one is not cracked like the other one, because this one was in the guy's garage. There's a couple little cracks down here, but it's not near as bad as the other ones. And it's a little dusty right now, but so this one, I love the blue interior, and the carpet is very great looking. He mostly had, these seats actually got wore out because he had boxes on the seats, and so only the front two got wore out, and then the driver one, of course, probably from him driving it, and of course the headliner. But more or less the interior is in very good shape. And this one also has fuel injection. Part of the reason why I bought it too. And it just starts right up. I had to buy a new fuel sender for it, so we're going to put that in. So it doesn't just register 0, it's actually a full tank. And then we have to fix the speedometer as well up in the hood. There's a little unit. And this one has the digital radio, though the tape doesn't work. But that's okay. We'll get there. And the carpet is just absolutely beautiful. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to shut this off for just a minute. And I have to replace the power antenna and a couple other little things to it. I actually had to take out the fuse for the power antenna because it just kept running. Here's the door panel, along with the blue, which is a very nice color combo. And just a close-up on the carpet. It's a very nice, thick carpet. And then, of course, the back seat, which we still have to clean it. And, of course, a headliner. Just like with the other one. Though this one, the interior is in a little better shape than the Sinatra one, because this one was mostly inside. So, which is good. The man drove it for about 10 years, and that was it. Now let's take a look under the hood of a fuel-injected one. So, the fuel injection is not for the faint of heart. The parts are not very easy to find. Let me go ahead and put this down for just a second. And the parts are not easy to find by any means. And this one here, and of course I have some videos on the fuel injection system. But this one, just like with the Sinatra, has fuel injection. It actually has really good pickup and go. This car is really heavy, and the carburetor's okay. The 2-barrel carburetor is okay. And I note okay. This one though, with the fuel injection, this takes off. And this one actually does a little better than the Sinatra one. I don't know why. Maybe it has more miles. I don't know. But this one does pretty darn good. And of course here we have the emission sticker again. Here, this car only has 46,000 miles. The Sinatra looks like it could have had 100 and some odd, so that may explain the difference. A lot of the original parts in here still, except for the alternator. Sadly, we had to replace it because the bearings in the other one were no good. It's making a lot of noise. And here with the fuel injection version, this is actually the automatic shutdown module here, which is part of the injection system. This is for the fuel pump. There's the ballast there that I was talking about, and there's another relay over there. And then of course you have the fuel injection here with the computer and a mass airflow sensor, a very early precursor. And under there's the hydraulic plate, which I'll do a video about that another time when I pull this open. But basically it has one injector and a few bars and all that, which I've explained in one of my other videos, but eventually I'll do another. But yeah, this is the original fuel injection setup for the Imperial. And here, of course, is the side of the car. I can't wait to get it all polished up, and we should be able to pull out a lot of this stuff, which will be good. And all these came with the crystal hood ornament. Though in '83, I guess they ran out of them or something, so they ended up putting the plastic version on. This is the original crystal one right here. And the Sinatra one has a replacement because when I got the car, it didn't have one. And then the '82 over there has the original. But they're very nice cars, and a lot of people are like, they've heard something about them from back in the day, and oh, they're bad, oh, they're awful, so on and so forth. They're not bad cars. They're actually nice cars. If you like personal luxury coupes, this is the car for you. If you want to be brave and do the fuel injection, find one fuel injection. If you can even find one, then do it. It's worth it. They're very nice drivers, but you have to do everything right. What I did with the fuel injection is the pump is not available anymore, so we did an external pump. The one on that '82 is a little more quiet. This one is not. I'll probably eventually replace it. We mounted it near the wheel well area, and you have to do 10 micron fuel filters and put only premium gas in them. Usually one of the big problems is why it doesn't prime, because there's another fuel pump, as I explained in one of my videos, up in the top here, is the injectors are usually clogged. So you have to blow those out and make sure they're good. They're very tiny, very, very tiny. And if you get lucky and get the remanufactured computer and the newer parts, a little known fact is that in the later 80s, they actually redid all the parts that they took back from the conversions with more modern parts, modern electronics. And so a lot of the later parts are actually okay to use. And so if you're mechanically inclined, the fuel injection, and if you're willing to store up a bunch of parts like I have, the fuel injection one is not a bad one to have. It's unique. You're going to be the only one that has it. A lot of times shops are like, well, I don't want to touch it. And I have all the books on it and everything. And actually the shop that got this one up and running, they did a really good job. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. And I gave the guy the manuals, and he looked it all up, and as well as the help from the Imperial for him. And he was able to get it running, and running great. And same with the Sinatra one over there too. And but they're very good cars. And like I said, if you like a personal luxury coupe, this one's definitely one to get. It's unique. You'll probably never see another one. I've only seen in my whole life in person 4 of these, and I own 3 out of the 4. Online, they're very rare too. You'll happen across them sometimes on eBay or on some sort of Craigslist or something. And I've only happened across maybe a dozen of them since about 10, 12 years, maybe a little more than that. And then out of those, I own 3 of them. So, but they're very cool cars, and I'm a big fan, and you'll never see another one like it. And of course, my favorite thing is the fact that Frank Sinatra did all the advertising for them. And so it's pretty cool to have a car that Frank advertised and was a big part of. He owned one, and famously, of course, the fuel injection quit on him and got him stuck in Palm Springs area. And but that was another time. And so what's really cool about these is now we have all this knowledge now, and cars are a lot more complex now. And so as long as you can find the fuel injection parts, which there's some places online that still sell some of them, there's no reason not to get one with a fuel injection. And if you know a little bit about those kind of things, that's great. And if you want to slap a carburetor on it, to each their own. But I always say keep it with the fuel injection if it came that way. Of course, you have other options if you're not in California. You can always replace with newer fuel injection, which one day when we don't do emissions testing on cars that are 40 years old, I may go with on the carbureted one at least. And if for some reason I don't have parts one day for the fuel injected ones, because that's how these cars are meant to be driven. If you wanted a carbureted one, you got a Cordoba. If you want fuel injected one, you got an Imperial. And it's so much nicer with the fuel injection. It's like night and day. And I really enjoy it. And they're just wonderful cars. So that's my little update on my 3 Imperials. And this guy's going to go out and get an alignment. And then we're going to get the AC fixed and some other little odds and ends. And then we'll get a headliner and maybe those seats repaired and get it detailed. And it'll be good to go. And I actually plan to drive it a lot coming up. So it's a really cool car. And the Sinatra here, of course, will get painted soon. And all that good stuff. And they all run just fantastic. And this one's basically all done mechanically. I'm just waiting to get it painted and get the interior and so on. And that one over there is just some odds and ends. And it'll be done too. And this one, of course, is all done. So I've replaced so much stuff, and I drive this very often. And it's a very nice car. And but like I said, the fuel injection, it's like night and day when you drive them. Going from the 2-barrel carburetor to the fuel injection. So with that, I will see you on my next video. Have a great day.